And you know, I saw Sharon now, and she said, Alon, you can start. I said, we are starting on time. It's unbelievable, because it's never on time, and then it's because of me we are not starting on time. That's life. What can I do? Anyway, so I'm Alon. I'm the VP Sales of Binah. I'm part of the management of the company. I have a team running multiple locations in the world, and actually I have a guy who is covering the Dutch market, but he's in India now, right? In Amsterdam.
Oh.
Yeah, in India. So he came to you, and you are coming to us, so you cannot really meet. So I'm taking his place. His name is Jason Bloom. So moving forward, assuming some of you will find it interesting to continue the discussion, it will be Jason leading whatever discussion, and me supporting him as required or as needed. Okay? So I have...
Usually rush. You already have the follow-up meeting, as you can...
No problem. Yeah.
You know, trying to secure the follow-up meeting, you know, as much as we can.
The planning is just suggesting here, so...
Sorry? Olibi? Okay, okay. So, let me tell you a little bit. I will try to make... First of all, please stop me with any question. I'm the last person who is here to lecture. It's a dialogue, okay? I can answer all type of question, you know, clinical to some degree, technical, business, whatever, use case. Okay, so how about using this in this and that use case?
Verification, we want to know that. But
verification, yeah, well, of course, you know, obviously it's a medical in flavor type of meeting, so of course I will discuss this. Okay, now, we are using a PDF and not a PowerPoint, thanks to Sharon that actually she has the slides, because it's not my computer. So very quickly, the management, of course, we're an Israeli company. We were founded about 6 years ago. And we were developing a technology for a number of years. So this technology is about $40 million in cost to develop. It's absolutely not 3 weekends in a garage developing something quick and dirty and let's go and find this customers. It's a big team, close to 100 people in staff, many PhDs, data scientists, in order to generate what you're about to see in real time. The founding fathers, so to speak, are those three gentlemen. David Maman, serial entrepreneur. He actually founded 13 different startups. He sold 5, mainly in the cyber industry, and he teamed up with these two guys, which brought the technology, which is signal processing. Now, we don't have time to go deep into the technology, but it's basically the ability to look at an individual face or an individual tip of the finger and to identify the pace of the flow of the blood under the skin. It sounds like magic, but it's not, because think about it, this is a mouse, even better. Because you are in the wrong direction from my perspective. When I'm moving down, it should go down, but many people make it the opposite. Never mind. So anyway, this is how all smartwatches are working today. This is how a pulse oximeter is working. There's always beams of light. You probably saw it, right? Those beams of light send against your skin over here, or over here if it's a pulse oximeter. And I try to identify, again, I'm simplifying, yeah, for the purpose of the meeting, identify using the color changes due to the blood flow, identify the pace of the flow of the blood under the skin. It's called, by the way, PPG, photoplethysmography. And this is a technology exists probably for 15 years already. Bottom line is that we are taking this technology and we make it available inside phone. Okay? So the underlying technology exists. We did not invent the wheel. What we have invented is another way of using PPG technology, because in order to enjoy a wearable device, you need to buy it. In order for your patient to use an Apple Watch, you need to buy the Apple Watch or to be hopeful that they have an Apple Watch. Most of them does not have it. And if they have I don't know, like smart ring, even there are smart rings today, right? That from the ring you get some pulses, still you need to connect it using Bluetooth to an application. For some people, this is extreme technology. Bluetooth not everybody are tech savvy, obviously. While everybody has a phone. And this is the revolution, okay? Using existing technology into today's phone, which I believe almost 100% of the people have smartwatches, a smartphone, sorry. So, let me actually show you how it looks. Where is your Zoom? Okay, I will do this. Okay, who want to be the guinea pig? Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Come in, have a seat. Have a seat over here. I'm just asking you, please don't move, okay? At all, I will explain, okay?
Can I download this app myself?
I will give it to all of you, okay? After the meeting, I will have the list from Sharon, and I will issue all of you our application, okay? So, over here, you can see some of the application of Binah, some of our customers' application. This is, for instance, Generali Germany. This is Datos. Funnily enough, the VP BizDev of Datos is the next presenter.
Yeah.
Super nice guy, but give him a hard time, just for me, just ask him question not related to Datos and tell him, Alon asked us to do it, okay? Please, please. I will give you a huge discount afterwards, just do it. And you see over here other application like remote health over here, this one. Okay, I should do it over here. This is, for instance, NTT Data. It's a huge IT company. It's patient employee
Japanese?
Safety.
Japanese?
Sorry. This is a Japanese in origin, but it's all over the world. It's a huge IT integrator. And this is, it's called ECOS. It's employee safety, right? So you will see soon the technology and you will understand how this can be used in multiple places. This one, Kimi, is the second largest insurance company in South Africa. And many, many more. IL Taker, just for your information, the biggest insurance company in India, about 8% market share. And we are not talking about Israel, we're talking about India, right? Yeah. So it's hundreds of millions of customers. The primary application called IL Taker, we are part of the application. So we have about 140 business. Of course, we're a B2B company, obviously. We're not B2C. We have about 140 customers all over the world, okay, which are almost evenly distributed between insurance companies, healthcare providers, and similar wellness solution and the like. So now let's do a demo. What is your name, please?
Vincent.
Vincent. First of all, Vincent, thank you very much. Now this is our application. Now just to avoid misunderstanding, assuming you want to work with us, we are not selling you the application. The application is here just to show you the capabilities, okay? And that's it. So Vincent, please don't move. Don't worry, I will click it for you.
Oh, well.
Okay. So what we start, we look at Vincent's face and we identify, first of all, the best location on his face. Okay, now just imagine that Vincent would have wore a corona mask over here. Okay, so the bottom half of his face is covered with a mask. No problem, we will see probably a point on the forehead and we will pick on this point. So it's called SNR, signal to noise ratio. We're looking for the highest value possible.
That's the reason that it doesn't matter that he's wearing glasses or a mask or...
Absolutely not. Even if 95% of his face is covered with something, we will focus on the 5% which is visible, okay? But we will, let's say this point, for instance, we will stay on this point. It's not that during the session we will move to other points, okay? So after we identify, we're starting basically to identify, as I said, light changes on this point is basically reflections of light coming from the skin. This is why we are completely indifferent to skin color, skin tone, gender, age. We don't care. We don't care. We are working on a population which are extremely mixed, like South Africa, India. We have many customers. It's a mixed population. Not important for us. Now, thank you very much, Vincent. You can go back. You are amazing, Vincent. You are amazing.
And now he has all your data on your phone.
I'm going to sell it to the Russians, or to Iran. No, if it's betrayal, if I will do it. Any connection with Iran from Israel, no, I'm not sure it's the best idea.
Russia, fine, no problem. Iran, big problem.
So thank you again, Vincent. So what Vincent have done is what we call the remote version. There's also a finger, as I told you before, and it takes about 1 minute to complete a scan. After 1 minute, we provide you, our customer, as part of the SDK, the technology, list of parameters that I will now basically show you and discuss. The first one is the wellness score. Wellness score is, to be more exact, the cardiovascular risk. Okay? If you want, I can show you how we reach this. Sorry?
Yeah. At the moment or?
Everything is at the moment. So it's a good question. So let's say Vincent, heaven forbid, is hypertension. Yeah, he's suffering from some very high blood pressure, but he's taking pills. So it's now balanced. We will not know that originally he has problem of high blood pressure. If now it's controlled and it's 120, which is good, we will see 120, right? There's no calibration needed, meaning in order to use Binah, you see, I didn't ask Vincent to input his gender, age, and age, height, and weight. I didn't ask for that. Any random person will come, take a scan, will get a result, okay? There's no calibration needed. This is quite sophisticated because it means the algorithm doesn't require any input of data before the scan is taking place. It makes our life way tougher, but the user experience is way better, of course, right? So the wellness score is the first. You got 5, which is not bad. In a minute, we will see why 5 and not 10. I understand you're disappointed a little bit, but probably there's a reason.
I felt really good.
So the first one, now on the application, we're providing lots of information. What's important for you to know is that all the information that we have on the application, if you want, we can give you. Description of what does it mean. Let's say heart rate, you know. So there's a lot of description, which I'm sure you can get by yourself, but you know, we have it, so you can use it. But more importantly, those levels, you know, what is medium, what is good level, or ranges, sorry, and what is bad ranges. All of this, we will provide you for a quick integration. Sorry, there was a question? Ah, no, okay.
240, that's a nice rate.
240.
What's wrong with my heart rate? 47, I think, is a very respectable heart rate.
Because we decided it's not myself, my chief medical officer decided that 60 and above is green, right? But you are in freedom to decide your own levels. If you think that 47 is good in the system, so you know, put it as green. You know, it's your decision, obviously.
You can manipulate it.
You can do whatever you want. We just eventually we give the data. In this case, 47 heart rate. You only will decide whether it's good, bad, medium, whether it's required, maybe some action item. Because this is just an application, it's not a solution, right?
Yeah, but can you alter the scale? Can you alter the scale for him to be like 40 to 80?
Absolutely. You can do.
Yeah, this is just information.
I will say it differently. At the end of the day, we are only doing one thing. We help you to generate raw data. What is the heart rate? What is the respiration? What is this? Once you get this data, it's you and you only to decide what you want to do with the data, how you want to classify it, so on and so forth. Okay? Okay, the next one is breathing rate or respiration rate. The next one is PRQ. PRQ is pulse respiratory quotient. It's the ratio between pulse rate and respiration rate. Sorry, you cannot see. PRQ 4 to 5 considered as good level.
More.
But?
A little bit more to that side. So
you
inside the camera.
Because I'm videos. Hello again. Yeah. No problem. But now I'm super small. It's like thumbnail. Okay. Okay. The next one is oxygen saturation. This one, oxygen level. I don't think I need to explain. 95 and above is good. And blood pressure. This is why you got only 5. Okay. Yes, because you know. Jokes aside, it's even if I will be now measuring myself in front of it, it's a little bit stressful, right? It's a little bit. So one can understand.
And on the way the blood pressure is measured, because that's really interesting. Just by looking at his face, you will measure blood pressure.
Okay, so let me just complete the demo and I will explain how we do blood pressure, okay? Blood pressure is way more complicated than heart rate, way more.
It's a new feature.
It's a new feature. It's super tough, but I will explain. But just let me complete the demo, and then I will explain it. So blood pressure is systolic and diastolic. Stress level. So we have, and you said something about mental stress, right? We have a number of parameters around the stress aspect of the individual. The first one is stress level. If I will click Learn More, you will see this. Bayevsky. Where is that? Where are you, Bayevsky? Okay. Bayevsky stress level. Bayevsky, it's talking about Russian, yeah? It's a Russian scientist that found a way 20 years ago to give him HRV-SDNN. Do you know what it is? The normalized standard deviation of the heart rate variability, which is basically a number calculated out of the heart rate variability, and he will tell you what is the stress index of this individual. Better, smarter people than Binah have found the disconnection between HRV-SDNN and your mental stress. We are just using existing, well-known, well-documented, standardized methodologies of assessing, in this case, mental stress. The next one, still within the mental aspect, is this one, recovery ability. What do I mean? Imagine that Sharon and myself, we are now stressed mentally. For her, it will take half an hour to recover. Everything is okay. For me, it will take 2 days. There are people that suffer putting on themselves stress for many days. They cannot get rid of it, so to speak. This is this. It's basically the parasympathetic nervous system activity, okay, for those of you familiar with the term. But it's, in simple words, it's the recovery ability of the individual, okay? The last stress-related parameter is this one, fight or flight, sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight, right? If you are always on the edge, as if there is danger imminent, mentally, of course, it's bad. Because if you're always on the edge, it means you exhaust yourself, mentally, of course. Now, these two parameters, recovery ability or parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, are based on Kubius study. We make it available to you as well. In order to be able to, for instance, the parasympathetic, if I will click the plus over here, I'm also sort of giving you training for you to, once you will get the app so you can see it for yourself. You see the various parameters. Are you familiar with this parameter notion coming out of the heart rate variability? So you see RMSSD, mean RRI, SD1, and PNS index. Those three parameters, RMSSD, mean RRI, and SD1, are basically input into the formula of Kubius in order to generate PNS index, which is the parasympathetic nervous system index, which is, in this case, it was high, which is good, because if you have high ability to recover, it's obviously good, okay? And the final one is HRV SDNN. I mentioned this before. We're using this as an input to the Bayevsky stress index. Okay, so I will answer in a minute about the blood pressure, but any question on what you've seen so far? No?
Well, I want to know the validation question. I mean, you...
I will talk about it. Don't worry, I will talk about it. Okay? So now let's talk about blood pressure. So again, we don't have enough time to go deep into the explanation, but we have two groups of vital signs. You just seen about 12 or 13 vital signs that are clearly divided into two. Group number one, starting from the heart rate. Once we have the heart rate, which we do like super accurate, we're about to get FDA on that. I will talk about it in a minute in depth. From the heart rate, we are generating the heart rate variability, which is just a mathematical calculation. And from the heart rate variability, we generate mental stress, we generate parasympathetic activity, we generate sympathetic activity, and we generate respiration rate directly from the heart rate. Okay? The second group, let's call it the most sophisticated ones, it's simply not enough just to do it using the heart rate or heart rate variability. And in that case, we need, unfortunately for us, data, which means we recorded probably tens of thousands of people using a special recorder, which is a special application of Binah inside mobile phones, always in hospitals or in clinics. We are paying about $1,000 per one person. It's unbelievably expensive, long, tiring. We are doing this in Sheba Hospital in Israel. Maybe you heard about it. And in Clinimark in the USA and other institutions. We're getting this information, hopefully as representative as possible, right? Because if I will only monitor healthy people, that the blood pressure is controlled, great. But when a hypertension individual will come and scan himself, I will not be able to identify him. So the tough part is those sick people, right? With high blood pressure or low blood pressure. Mainly the high is more important. So we are collecting this information, and then, we have collected, then we build a model, machine learning, deep learning, and we embed it into the entire solution. And now we have its supplement the HRV or the heart rate, and now we can generate actually the ability to predict or to show you what is your blood pressure. So blood pressure falls under this umbrella, and oxygen level fall under this umbrella of data-intensive requirement in order to do this.
But it still comes from color differences.
Yeah, this is the basis of everything, absolutely. Yeah. The basis of everything is using the pixels. Basically, we're breaking the picture in the video into pixels, and we see the movement of color, but it's simply not enough, right? We need to supplement it with data.
The color of what? Color variation?
The color, because once the blood is flowing, it's changing. Of course, with human eye, we cannot see it. It's changing from pixel to pixel, the color. If the blood just flow from here, let's say now, it's basically this now become red, and then it's become white, or light, somewhere in between. Yeah, and it's all about the reflections of light. This is why, as I said, the skin color, skin tone, age is not relevant at all, at all. So we support the entire, what we call the Fitzpatrick skin classification, all the way from pale people to black people. Okay? Now, I owe you an answer.
Yeah, you were talking about the verification process,
yes.
right?
Okay. So this, I will use the mouse, it's better. This individual.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
About blood pressure, you're not measuring, but you're predicting the blood pressure by AI. You don't really measure the blood pressure.
You measure.
You know, it's more or less the same. It's a good question, almost a theoretical question. So yeah, it's all about predicting, right? It's all prediction. But prediction, which is sort of a measurement. But prediction is maybe something which is more relevant for the future, right? I predict that you, now it's not really predicting, it's measuring or...
You're calculating the...
Yeah, in a way it's calculating, it's a better...
But I mean, we want to know the accuracy, that's what we want to
Yeah, I'm getting to this right now.
All right.
What is the advantage of not having input of age, weight, etc.? Because if you bring in an Olympic athlete and you measure his heart rate compared to an old grandma who has heart failure, is brought in and has the same heart rate, it's not the same thing.
That's interpretation of the...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We just give you one thing. What is the current heart rate? Vincent was 47, right? From our perspective, it's not important if he's an Olympic runner or not. You know, we just tell you he's 47. You need, on the application, on the solution, you need to see, okay, what does it mean for Vincent? What does it mean for the Olympic runner? You know, but it's your part, it's not our part. We just tell you he's 47, okay? We just report what the situation right now, okay? So, Binah is absolutely not a gadget, cool item, absolutely not.
Oh,
we have a chief...
It is, we think it's pretty cool.
No, it is cool, but if it's cool, it means it's wellness. And we are trying to avoid it. We have customers which are using this for wellness, don't get me wrong. But we are putting huge amount of effort, money, everything in order to become medical, which I will talk about it right now. So first and foremost, we have this guy is in the center for a good reason, our chief medical officer. Dr. Navetov, extremely experienced. He's still consulting, but he used to be the chief medical officer of Kamda. It's an Israeli NASDAQ traded company. He's still advising. So this guy is super experienced. Used to be a doctor, chief of department, blah, blah, blah. And this is Dr. Shira Simis. She's our VP regulation. These two guys are heading their respective teams in order to make Binah a medical soon. So where do we stand? First of all, and this is, please keep it with, in this room, we are already ISO 13485 certified, okay? We didn't receive the certification yet. We managed to complete everything about 3 weeks ago. We know we passed it. We're just waiting for the diploma. Once we will get it, of course, we will publish it, right? So for now, we are not allowed to discuss this too much. Definitely not to publish it, but we've passed it, okay? Now, this is the precondition in order for us to submit. The first submission will be 510K in the USA, and it will be only for pulse rate or heart rate and respiration rate. So I want to align expectation. Only on the next iteration, probably 3 months later, we will submit also for blood pressure and SpO2. Why? Because it's a waste of time if we are not meeting the required threshold or the required accuracy, right? Because we know, right? So basically, we do everything with this institution. Okay.
You're going to send us a slide, right?
Of course, yeah, not PDF. Yeah, we can send the PDF. Yeah, the PDF. So you see this Clinimark. This is critical for the success of Binah. It's probably the best-in-class clinical facility in the USA. Okay, we do everything with them. We acquire data from them, but most importantly, they will run the test. By the way, in about 2.5 weeks from now, the most important test for Binah, that they will, you know, based on the FDA requirements, they will hold a big study. Again, pulse rate and respiration rate, see that indeed, and of course, we will never go there if we wouldn't know in advance that we will pass it, obviously, because it's extremely expensive. And once, knock on wood, we'll get this, first of all, I will be able to show all of my customer clinical evidence, very strong clinical evidence, and 1 minute after, Dr. Shira Simis will file this, add it to everything we have already, and send the application to FDA, which they said it's 3 months, but nobody can really know, right? It can be 3 months, it can be more. It's not in our hands. We're trying to make it one shot, basically because Dr. Shira Simishi is extremely experienced. She's done this many, many times in previous companies, because every delay, it's like 2-3 months more, right? And it's critical for Binah to get it as soon as possible, obviously. And this is where we stand. You can see it also over here. So for now, at least, maybe it's a bit too optimistic. For now, at least, we say, or we hope that we will get the certification before the end of the year. Okay?
And we do have like 4 minutes.
Okay. So let me talk only about use cases, if you don't mind. Okay, thank you, Sharon. One use case is Chaim that will come in a minute. By the way, don't really kill him with questions. I was joking. Huh? You know what? Yes, do it. Yes, do it. But tell him that I asked you to do it, okay? Otherwise, it's not really fun, right? So Chaim is a good friend, as you understand, and he's the
customer.
Sorry, and a customer, but it's not really a customer, it's a partner. So I don't want to talk about Datos because he will do it for half an hour, right? But we are part of Datos, and the challenge that we have, as you all understand already, is that we don't have the certification yet, right? So how can we provide support for medical population? The Datoses of the customer actually that found a way. We are part of them. In some of the treatment, the customer are being asked to scan themselves. We are always white label, by the way. All of our customers hide the name Binah. They think it's Datos or Generali or all of our customers. Now, if the results are bad, the actual result, what is the blood pressure, respiration, blah, 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 they are not sent to the doctor, because then it will be violation, right? Only a flag. Alon is feeling bad. Yeah, I'm the patient. Speak with him, do something, whatever the process says, yeah? Send an ambulance, medical staff should call Alon, whatever. The fact that the Datos solution does not send the underlying result, at least for now, solve the problem of the lack of the medical certification. Okay? This is the workaround, basically. Once we will get it, there's no problem. We can expose the entire result to the doctor, bless you, to the doctor. For now, at least, this is the workaround. Okay? Now, nevertheless, Binah has 140 customers. It's not that we are sitting waiting for the FDA to come, right? How come? How can it be? Many of them in the medical space. Because not always it's a must. Not always it's a must. For instance, everything which is related to mental, following what we discussed at the beginning, does not require a medical certification. It is requiring you knowing that it's accurate. Okay? And we have four third-party clinical validation that I can share with all of you, of course, upon request, that hospitals and clinics in Europe and in Asia have conducted comparison of Binah versus medical devices. They found it good enough and they moved to production. I can share with you those accuracy verification. Also, we have 3 customers that already received class 1 medical certification. I can share this with you as well. Okay. 2 in South Africa, 1 in Australia. Okay, so where can you take it? And I will finish with that, right, Sharon? You can take it into the insurance space. In insurance, it can be either underwriting. Do you know what is underwriting? Yeah. Risk assessment of the individual. Extremely popular with Binah. You can take it into wellness, which is very soft. This is the cool thing that I said. Or you can take it into the medical space, like an annual risk assessment for employees. Just imagine, no need for medical staff in this case. This is number 1. If we are in the healthcare space, you can take it basically into 3 directions. Number 1, RPM, remote patient monitoring, which is what Datos is doing. Number 2, telemedicine. Even the Israeli biggest HMO, you probably know, Clalit, is our customer.
Heard about it, yeah.
So, yeah, I heard about it, yes. So Clalit, we are part of the video infrastructure, teleconsultation, or video consultation of Clalit, okay? And what they have decided, it will be a triage type of assessment, meaning I'm about to start the call with my patient. The patient will get a push notification, please take a scan. The scan will be completed, and now the video consultation with the doctor will start, okay? So video consultation, video telemedicine, extremely popular usage of Binah. And third and final, the mental aspect, okay? There are many, many mental aspects. Because we have number of parameters. One thing that I didn't mention, sorry for that, is that we are also providing the RRI. You know what is the RRI? RR interval, the HRV, full map, meaning you got 47, right, Vincent?
I think so.
After this scan, if I want, I can even show you. I can give you, or not I can give you, the SDK gives you a small file with 47 lines where the pulses, the pulses happen with a timestamp in millisecond. This is for a medical institution, Fortune. So this is the raw data of the heart rate variability. We provide it as part of the SDK, okay? We are the only company in the world doing that, of course. It's extremely complicated. And talking about the use cases, employee safety, and
could we
please.
have 1 minute about your business case? How much funding did you have? How do you charge your, if we would work together with you, how would you charge with this kind of...
I need 1 hour for that, Vincent. No, I'm joking.
1 minute. Yeah.
1 minute. I will try. So Binah, and again, not to be published, Binah so far, because the last one was not announced yet, about $30 million. We are not cash positive, but I'm head of sales of the company. Investment, yeah. Yes. So on Crunchbase, if you will go, you will see we have 13.5 million. We have a new round completed. We have the money in the bank of 15 million. It's not published. It's not announced yet. So keep it, please. Please keep it over here in this room. It's not a huge secret, but still, it's not announced yet. So on the financing part, we are, even if we will sell zero, we have enough money for the next 18 months, right? And I believe, I hope for me, of course, that we will sell more than zero. Yeah. We have, the model is annual, so all of our customers are paying annual fees and hopefully growing during the year. And we have 140 customers, so we have a lot of cash in any case. And the model, right?
But is it the base fee per user?
I cannot tell you exactly. But I would try a little bit vague. $5 to $10 million every year. This year, so far, about 50% growth.
Y on Y. Basic fee per customer and then per user, or?
Okay, for this really I will need more than a minute, so I will make it quick. In a way, you pay either per user. So okay, so let's say it's a chronically you are releasing an application chronically ill individual. A chronically ill individual needs to scan himself if you want to use Binah twice a day, probably, right? Extensive usage. For this, we have the notion of user, unlimited, and you pay an X amount of dollars per year for this specific user, but it's unlimited. And every month you can swap from Vincent to Alon to Sharon, okay? We have a second notion, which is a one-time random customer, telemedicine. Yeah. I will use your telemedicine solution, assuming you have such, only when I'm sick. It can be once a year.
Cost per thousand or something like that.
Sorry?
Cost per million or cost per thousand scans.
Yeah, so in that case, we have a second model, which is only per session. Of course, the price per session is way lower than the price per user. The user can do it with no limitation. The session can do it one time.
And is that 1 cent or is it 5 cents per session? What is the price per session?
The price per session typically is around $2 per scan. And it's a volume-based pricing. So as you buy more, we provide discount, even a huge discount. And the price per user is actually much better because it's about $2 to $3 per month, and then you can use it with no limitation, right?
Alon, I'll be sure to send them the deck and your email so that you can approach you directly. And
sure. And once I will get the email address, your email addresses, I will issue all of you in one shot the Binah check. Okay, so you can play with that in your own spare time. My pleasure.
Thank you very much. We'll bring your card.
Wait 1 second.
Yes. And I want to thank you very much, and I want to give you.
Oh, really? If you can spread this. Wow. Now I'm really happy.